The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the final vote tallied across the holographic display. 347 species had cast their judgment. The verdict was unanimous, save for one dissenting voice that echoed across the stars with defiant compassion. Humanity had voted no. Ambassador Jennifer Martinez stood alone at Earth's podium, her hands trembling slightly as she watched the Valkyrie delegation collapse in despair. Their azure skin had paled to almost white, their 4 arms wrapped around each other in a gesture that transcended language. They knew what was coming. "The motion passes," announced High Arbiter Thon Crix, his crystalline voice devoid of emotion. "The Valkyrie species has been found guilty of biological contamination of the Harath sector. Standard protocol demands complete extermination. Execution will commence in 72 standard cycles." Jennifer slammed her fist on the podium. "This is genocide. They made a mistake, a terrible mistake, yes, but it wasn't intentional. Their agricultural probe malfunctioned. They've offered reparations, offered to spend generations cleaning up the contamination." "Irrelevant," Thon Crix interrupted. "The damage is catastrophic. 12 worlds rendered uninhabitable. The Council's judgment is final." "Then Earth formally offers asylum," Jennifer declared, her voice cutting through the murmurs of shock that rippled through the chamber. "We will accept any Valkyrie refugees who wish to seek sanctuary on our world." The chamber erupted. Species that had never agreed on anything found common ground in their horror at humanity's proposal. The Chromath delegates' tentacles writhed in agitation. "You would harbor these criminals? These planet killers?" "We would harbor people," Jennifer replied firmly. "Innocent people whose government made a catastrophic error. Children who had nothing to do with this tragedy. We will not stand by and watch genocide, no matter what you call it." 72 cycles later, 10,000 Valkyrie ships descended through Earth's atmosphere, escorted by the entire human defense fleet. Major Robert Hayes watched from the bridge of the USS Defender as the massive refugee convoy approached North America's landing zones. "Think we're doing the right thing, sir?" asked Lieutenant Amanda Foster, her eyes fixed on the sensor displays. Robert thought of the briefings he'd attended, the images of Valkyrie families clutching their few possessions, the children with eyes too large and frightened. He thought of the Council's cold decree of extermination. "Yeah," he said quietly. "Yeah, I do." The landing sites had been prepared across the United States, vast temporary settlements in Nevada, Texas, and Montana. Dr. Michael Thompson coordinated the medical teams at Landing Site Alpha, watching as the first Valkyrie emerged from their ships. They moved slowly, cautiously, as if unable to believe they'd truly found refuge. "Welcome to Earth," Michael said through the translation device, extending his hand to the first Valkyrie elder who approached. The gesture meant nothing in Valkyrie culture, but the tone transcended species. The elder's 4 arms reached out, gently touching Michael's shoulders in their traditional greeting. "Thank you," the elder whispered in halting English. "Thank you for seeing us as people." The backlash from the Galactic Council was immediate and severe. Trade sanctions, diplomatic isolation, threats of military action, humanity faced it all with stubborn resolve. President Catherine Walsh addressed the United Nations, her words broadcast across Earth and to the stars beyond. "Today, we are told that mercy is weakness. That compassion is foolishness. That standing against injustice makes us pariahs among the stars." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the assembly. "If that is what being human means, then I am proud to be called a fool. I am proud to stand with the condemned. Because we remember our own history, we remember what happens when the world stands silent in the face of genocide." In the refugee camps, integration began. Teacher Maria Rodriguez worked with Valkyrie children, finding that despite their alien appearance, kids were kids everywhere. They laughed, played, and learned with a resilience that humbled her. Within months, hybrid schools emerged where human and Valkyrie children sat side by side. Engineer David Park collaborated with Valkyrie scientists, discovering that their biological technology could revolutionize Earth's environmental restoration efforts. "They're not planet killers," he reported to the Oversight Committee. "They're some of the most ecologically minded people I've ever met. That accident haunts them every single day." But challenges remained. Riots broke out in some cities, fueled by fear and xenophobia. Security forces, led by Commander James Mitchell, worked overtime to protect Valkyrie communities from human extremists who believed the aliens would bring catastrophe to Earth. "They destroyed 12 worlds," a protester screamed at James during one tense standoff. "Their government's accident destroyed 12 worlds," James corrected. "These people are victims too. They lost their home, their civilization, everything, and were the only ones who gave a damn." 5 years passed. The temporary camps became permanent settlements, then integrated communities. Valkyrie technology merged with human ingenuity, creating breakthroughs neither species could have achieved alone. The biofiltration systems they developed together began healing Earth's polluted oceans at unprecedented rates. Ambassador Jennifer Martinez returned to the Galactic Council, now standing at a podium beside Valkyrie Representative Kilthara. Together, they presented their proposal, a new protocol for handling species-level disasters that didn't default to extermination. "You called us fools," Jennifer said, her voice steady. "You said we'd doom ourselves by showing mercy. Instead, we've grown stronger. We've learned from each other. We've proven that justice doesn't require genocide, that accountability doesn't demand extinction." Kilthara stepped forward, all 4 arms spread wide in a gesture of openness. "My people were condemned to die. Humanity alone said no. They risked everything, their economy, their security, their place among the stars, because they believed in something more important than cosmic politics. They believed in redemption." The vote was called. This time, humanity wasn't alone. 12 species joined Earth in supporting the new protocols. It wasn't a majority, not yet, but it was a beginning. As the session ended, Jennifer looked out at Earth through the station's viewport, where Valkyrie ships now flew alongside human vessels, their running lights mixing in the darkness like stars finding their constellations. Sometimes, she thought, being human meant standing alone. But if that stand was for justice, for mercy, for the radical belief that no species deserved extinction without question, then humanity would stand alone 1,000 times over. And perhaps, eventually, they wouldn't be standing alone at all.